Okay, here we go. So this is part one, introduction and QIB responsibilities. As Ruben said, we have 3 parts to this training. Session 1 is today. We're covering introduction and QIB responsibilities. And then next week, Dr. John will talk about becoming a qualified QIB and higher. So how can you qualify and what and how can you increase, push that into a level where you can sort of satisfy your personal targets or objectives that you want. And the third week, Ruben will be presenting on how to present a potential client. Very important, because we need to make sure that you guys are professional in what you do. And then all 3 of us will then be, handling resolutions. What are the do's and don'ts? Some good housekeeping around when you're introducing investors into this investment, so that we don't, they're actually educated and well knowledgeable in how they go about, signing up their clients as well as themselves. So I hope that helps. Again, the time is the same. We're going to use the same Zoom link and the same time for the next 2 weeks, 7:30 p.m. So just put it in your diary so that you do not forget. Anyway, we'll still send a reminder on the group as well. Right. So my question, as Ruben asked, who is, whether you're a QIB or not, just let me answer. How many of you have been here for more than 12 months? If you can just say me, that'll help us to understand how many are actually already here for more than 12 months. Not many, by the looks of it. Is that right? No, could have. I'm only getting about 3 or 4. Okay, that's better. Good. Okay. All right. 8 months, 2 years. All right. All right. That's good. So I just want to get a feeling, because understand the maturity of your, your experience here. Now, the second thing I'm going to ask you is, how many are already a QIB here in at least one fund? I'm going to explain what is a QIB for those who say they don't understand. A QIB, when you actually become an investor, you are an IB. That means you are an introducing broker. The TFXI calls them as IBs. The moment you open an account, it's just you are an IB. But once you have 5 people directly under you in any one fund, then you are classified as a QIB, qualified introducing broker in that fund. For example, let's say if you're investing in Nicolay, and if you introduce 5 investors directly under you, then you qualify as a QIB for that fund for Nicolay. It doesn't mean you're qualified for all funds. So each fund, you need to have at least a minimum of 5 investors with at least $5,000. Then you qualify as a QIB. I hope that makes sense for everybody here. So let me ask you a question here. How many are already a QIB in at least one fund? If you can just say, put a 1 so that we know at least. Got about 10 response so far, 15, good. Okay. All right, so that's quite a healthy number there. That's good. Just want to know, so get an understanding before we present, so that we have an idea who we are addressing this presentation to as well. Okay. Now, my next question is, has anybody got any regrets in investing here? Has anybody got any regrets? Either you put yes or no. No means you don't have regrets. Yes means I have regrets. I'm sure there'll be 0 regrets here. Okay, so that's fine. So just to give you I just want some interactive conversation here as we go along. The next one is, my question is, okay, that's good enough. So what it's going to do is, what is the objective of this trading? Number 1, it is to help you to be proficient, to become an expert in promoting TFXI. That is our number one goal. Our goal here is to help you to be proficient and to be an expert in promoting TFXI if you're planning to build this as a passive business for yourself. Right, that is one of the key objectives we have. Second, to build a consistent passive cash flow business with integrity. The word is integrity, because we don't want you to be scrupulous and mislead people to come in invest in this money in this fund, because end of the day, it's about your character and your integrity. Because once someone loses confidence in you, then they will start giving bad report about the investment, and this is not what we want. So again, we want you to be proficient. We want you to build a consistent cash flow business with integrity and earn at least equal or exceed your earned income. So we're going to help you to find a way that you can at least earn from TFXI equal or exceed your earned income, so that it gives you some financial freedom for your family and yourself. All right, so let me ask you a question. What is one of the most important things that every person on this earth need? If you can just give me an answer, type in your answer. What is one of the most important thing that every person on this earth needs? Hey, I like that. Hey. Call it money, okay. Okay. All right, just guys, one of the most important things we need on this earth is money, okay? Because we cannot live on air. We love God, but we cannot just by having faith alone is not going to give us meet of our needs, needs and obligation on this earth. So yeah, for me, God is number one, and family, and then money. I treat money as a servant. I use money as a tool. I don't worship money, but money is necessary on this earth, and that's a critical. So if you look at our life, these are all the areas of our life. I call it spiritual. We need spirituality on earth. We need to take care of our family, career. We have careers. We need to worry about how do we manage our finances. We need, physical. That means we do exercises and fitness, intellectual, social. All these requires money. Everything we do on this earth requires money. So that is why that's number one. If you have some kind of freedom in your finances, it gives you a lot of things, that opportunity to do what you want, your wishes and your dreams for yourself and your family. So money is a necessity on this earth, but again, it's how you earn it's important, right? Though we don't want to do it in the wrong way, but we do it the right way with integrity and with right character, so that we are blessed as we bless others as well. Okay, so who are your clients, right? There are many who are your clients? That's an important thing for you to understand. So for me, anyone and everyone over 18 years old on this earth is your client, potential client. We got over 8 billion people on this earth. So potentially, even if we say half of them are above 18, right? You got at least 4 billion people as your customer base opportunity. So anybody over 18, so you can't say, I don't know anybody, I don't have clients, I don't have any friends, I don't have contacts. I think that it's not going to hold water for me, because everybody has opportunities to do that. And you're doing them a favor in this case, because when you show them this investment, especially when they're early as possible in their life, they will treasure this. So you're actually doing them a favor. So you don't sell because of it for your selfish purpose, but you're actually selling them a value. Always look at it. Don't be motivated by money, but motivated by value. What is it that you're offering them that brings value to them? When they see that you're bringing value, they will be more receptive to what you're offering. Not just look at your own selfish needs, but also make sure it's a win-win for yourself and for your client. So it's very, very important too from that perspective. Okay. So why TFXI? Highly successful. It's a done for you package. That means they have put everything for you. There's nothing that you need to do to start apart from your time to get this business off the ground, and an investment of about $1,000. This broker has, I should have updated this slide. They are more than 15 years track record with experienced professional fund managers, right? They provide training. They have excellent training in resources, which they also do. If you go into the dashboard of your account, you'll always see they're doing some sort of a training for the investors. So you can learn from them. They have excellent resources for that. And your minimum investment, I call it a franchise fee to start this business, is $1,000 US. That's your franchise fee. And that is a refundable. That means you can take the money out anytime you want, right? So it is not a fee, but an investment. So again, so the thing is, I've never seen anything simpler than TFXI to start a passive income business. If you're going to do a business of your own, it takes a unique startup capital. You need to have spend time on it. You got to probably find a product or service that you need to offer. Whereas here, everything is done for you. All you have to do is to bring investors in. That's all you need to do. And you train them in such a way that they understand and they are comfortable, they're happy, and they will see fruits in what they're doing. So again, as I said, this is one of the best passive income business that you can ever come across on this earth. And this is why I find this amazing. I find this extremely easy to do. For me, when I started bringing investors in, initially I used to spend about half an hour a day. I used to contact my friends, and I will bring them into groups and I'll talk to them about it. But now I spend literally no more than 15 minutes a day, maximum half an hour a day, to do what I do in TFXI, and it generates me a 6-figure income, right? Well into it's not just a beginning, not the top, not the top lower end, but it's it's a higher end of 6-figure income. So but again, as I said, you need time, perseverance to build this up. It's not going to be an overnight situation. So this is what we're going to teach you, how to build this business with confidence, with perseverance, and with patience the right way, and you will see success in your life. Okay, so the company we all know, since everybody is an investor here, is Triumph. Triumph has been, as I say, it's been here since 2009, and is one of the top performing forex company. Again, a broker. That means they do both. You can actually go and do your own trading in their platform, or like us, we invest in the passive investment, so that they do the trading for us and we reap the benefits from it. And for many of you know, I have been to TFXI, their Triumph office in Cyprus in November 2018, and I've met all the key stakeholders. And it'll be good for you if there's a campaign going on now, and if you're successful in meeting the criteria, you might be there March next year. Is when they're planning to take another group to Cyprus. Beautiful island, lovely place to worthwhile to go and see, and everything that they provide for you is a 5-star service. The hotel, the food, and everything is exceptional. So that's how TFXI treats their clients, right? So for us, we need to leverage on the experience, we are leveraging on experienced broker and fund management teams. So as you can see, when I started, there was, the new funds like Nicolate, Yuri, AMG, GMC, Tokyo were not present. We only had the old funds like GM, GM2, SM, DS, Victoria. Those were the funds that we were investing in. But since the last 3 years, we've seen these new funds coming in, and they're giving exceptional returns, and they will continue to grow. They're introducing more and more fund managed funds coming in. Already there's 1 or 2 now. We are looking at it, doing some due diligence, and once we think they're good, we will promote it into among our groups as well. Okay. So far, the fund size is about 700 million plus and growing US dollars. When I started, they only had about 60 million. So now you can see it's 10 times, more than 10 times the growth. And in terms of profits, they've already paid out more than 500 million in profits over that period. And again, and if you look at it in terms of investors, they're growing very rapidly. When I started, there were only about 30,000 investors. Today, we got 600,000 investors and growing. And we also have, as I said, we are more and more fund managers are being added. So this is why it's an amazing business. Everything that we lean on is proven. There's nothing there that is not proven. That is something that we're taking a high risk on. So even though Forex is seen as a high risk industry, but we are in the lower risk of the high risk category. So that's where we are. So that is why I feel it's such an amazing business to go into, and it's got very good credentials, very good track record, and that's something that we need to be proud of. So passive income, estimated income that you can get from 3 sources. When I say 3 sources, typically if you have $1 million under you, as this is a rough indication. I'm not saying this is exactly what it is. In fact, it is more than that. If you have $1 million under you, as in any one fund, okay, or across all funds, doesn't matter. I'm talking about across all funds. Let's say in all 5 funds, in totally you have $1 million. Your commission alone per year will be around minimum of $35,000 US dollar. I'm talking about US dollars here. If in Australian dollar term, that's more like $50,000, right? That's passive. While you're sleeping, that money is making money for you. Plus, you got 5% referral on level 1 on the funds that's invested directly under you. And on top of that, you got your personal profits coming in, which is about 70%. So you can see that you can easily be getting, assuming you have about $10,000 investment of your own, right? So 10,000, that's about $70,000. 10,000, you get about $7,000 a year here, right? Plus 42,000 plus another, maybe, let's say you got about another 10,000 coming in here or 5. So you're easily earning about somewhere in the region of a minimum, I would say about 50 to 60,000 US dollars a year. But again, as I said, that's depending on how much your personal investment is. The higher your investment here, if you put 100,000, then you're getting $70,000. Okay. So, but if you got 1.5 million under you, you're getting $50,000. If you're getting you've got 2 million, you're looking at about at least 70,000 US dollars. And if you got 3 million under you, you're looking at 105,000 US dollars per year, right? As long as your investors keep their money there, that is making money for you. You don't have to do anything. You just keep on promoting, keep on encouraging investors to keep the money there. But of course, you encourage them. If they want to take out the capital, that's fine. But keep their profits and let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. And that's what I do. I always encourage my investors, once they've doubled the capital, I encourage them to take out the capital and just let the profit be there. So 0 risk, and then they can continue to grow that profit. And as they grow, because most of us will reinvest and reinvest and reinvest, your AUM will automatically grow. Initially, it might be slow, but as you come to a certain level, it will start growing exponential, the commission, because you have others will be introducing their friends under you and so on. So even without you making an effort, others will be bringing investors into them under you. So you benefit from that as well. So that's a rule of thumb. You're typically looking at 35,000, 50, or 105,000 if you got $3 million. So I'm going to show you some examples of how you can get to $3 million. That's the formula I'm going to show you, so that you can use that formula to at least get $3 million under you, so that you can earn about at least $105 million in commission. Now that's in Australian dollar terms roughly about $120,000, right? That's a good money, good income. That's $10,000 a month, right? Not many people earn that kind of money in Australia either. And especially if you're from Malaysia, of course, you're looking at more like $500,000 here. $500,000 a year income coming in. That's huge. That's huge income just from here, excluding your personal profits. Hope this, guys, please take note of this, because this is a very important knowledge for you, something to aim for. Okay. Now, how do you get to that level of getting about 505,000 commission a year. Now, this is a formula that I'm suggesting. It's easy to achieve. And more. So, for example, let's say if you want to build $3 million as your under you. So what you do is you need to bring in 10 leaders, including yourself. Build 10 leaders under you, 9 yourself plus one other person, nine others. So that means, assuming you're building about your business, you alone directly, you're responsible for bringing $300,000 under you.
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you please be muted, please? Anybody there, please mute yourself. So, as I said, if you can bring in $300,000, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, right? Let's say you can set a target. Okay, I'm going to build 300,000 in 18 months. And then you build your team under you so that they will also bring in $300,000 each. Now you got $3 million. Right, so you don't have to go and if you want to chase and build your own, that's your choice. But I'm saying, in order to make it easy for you, you are also not only you building, by building other leaders under you, so they're going to be motivated to build their own business under them, which is also going to help you. Right, so try to take this formula. This is a simpler formula. It's achievable. It's not a difficult proposition. Okay, so this is what I would suggest to you. But if you want to work your, if you think you have high net worth customers who can invest directly under you, that's fine. There's nothing to stop you from going there. I'm not saying you stop at $300,000. The more you have under level 1 for you, the higher your commission is going to be, right? At level 1. So you can grow horizontally at level 1 as much as you want, while you're also encouraging your leaders to go vertical under you so that they can build their businesses and both of you benefit. So I hope that makes sense. If you're not sure, we can talk about this at the Q&A session, at breakout session as well. Okay. So my question to you is, how serious are you in building this business? If you go in with this with a half-hearted mindset, you're not going to make it. You got to be persistent. You got to make your goals. Set up your goals to make sure that you can achieve this over time. You can say, okay, I'm going to do this in 2 years or 3 years. It doesn't matter. There's no pressure. It's entirely up to you how fast you want to accomplish this. Okay. So now, in order to be a good professional QIB, these are some of the responsibilities I'm going to talk about. What are your responsibilities as a QIB? So you must commit to learn and grow. I'm going to expand on each one of these in a minute, okay? Know how to handle objections. I've been a salesman for many, decades. So one of the key things we learn is about how do we handle objection from a customer or prospect. So you need to know how to address objections from your prospects. Master TFXI platform navigation. So you make sure you understand every part of the platform so that when you show them, demonstrate to your client, they shows that you're a professional and you are an expert in that particular area that you're teaching them or trying to explain to them about this investment, and be a competent presenter. Because if you go half-baked presentation, people will know that you do not know your stuff. Again, as I said, because don't be motivated by money, but be motivated by love. I say love because if you love your customers, you love the people, you're passionate about introducing these to them so they get a blessing, that is the motive we should go with. Because I always say, don't chase after money. If you do everything with love and value, money will chase after you. Let me repeat, don't chase after money, but let money chase after you. And the only way you're going to do that is by giving people value. So don't be motivated by money. Okay, build a business professionally and with integrity. Again, that's a very, very important thing. We're going to cover these 5 very quickly, and then so let's start with how do I commit to learn and grow, right? So assume that I will automatically grow. If you think you're automatically going to grow, that is a fallacy, because no one can grow by themselves. You got to learn. You got to educate yourself through resources that's available outside, right? So growth just does not happen automatically. has to be intentional. As I said, you must have smart goals so that you can work on small chunks. Okay, I'm going to set a monthly goal target or a quarterly target on what I want to accomplish. So when you do it in small chunks, it's easier to achieve than setting big goals that you're going to struggle with. Number two, as we grow, we also grow others. As I said, if you follow that model that I say, you grow leaders under you, then both are going to be blessed. Both are going to benefit from it. Both are going to grow quickly in building up a business. So as we grow, we also grow others. Don't be selfish. Okay. Now we have a responsibility to keep the investors up to date. This is beneficial for us to build trust and relationship. As you know, we are very transparent. That's why we got two groups, our WhatsApp group and our Telegram group. We set it up intentionally so that if you have any issues, we are very transparent. We're giving you information. You got problems, we are helping you fix the problems for you. We are now even becoming a money changing organization, which we are changing money with each other. It's amazing. There's so much of integrity there because we have never heard one person being cheated or exploiting another person. And we have certain set of rules to say, okay, only Google rates, and that's it. So it's amazing how the group is working. And that's the kind of relationship we want with each other, because money is a very sticky point. The moment if somebody loses even a $10, right, it becomes a major issue. That trust is being breached, and we don't want that to happen. So far, I thank God that our group has been very transparent, very professional in this matter. And that's what we need to inculcate into those who are coming into this investment as well. So number one, commit to learn and grow. Okay, that is very important. Number two, growth. I mean, before that, growth is that this is from John Maxwell, one of the best motivators. He talks about the 15 laws of growth. Okay, he said the law of growth, law of intentionality. Growth doesn't just happen. Grow yourself to grow yourself, right? Know yourself to grow yourself. See value in yourself to grow yourself, right? Pause and to let growth catch up. So don't go too fast. Always make sure whatever you learn, you understand and you know how to apply. Consistency keeps you growing. I always say repetition leads you to mastery. So learn and repeat the thing until you get your master of those things. These are some examples. If you want to take a picture of that, you can do that before I change the slide. So it's worth looking at it because that helps you to see how the ways you can actually grow in this, not only in building this business, but in every aspect of your life as well. Okay. Now, number two, know how to handle objections. Very important. Don't brush aside. Somebody raises an objection, don't brush it aside. If you're not sure, always say, I'm coming, I'll come back to you. So like recently somebody posted a link in our WhatsApp group about an old story about crime. We answer, we respond to that. We don't brush it aside, okay? Because we need to be there to show transparency. If you don't know, we will find out for you, okay? So know everything about TFXI, the funds we promote, who are the fund managers, how many people are there in that fund, what is their contribution to this fund themselves, or how much have they invested themselves, right? How long they've been in this, which country they're operating from, all these things you need to know, and what are the the products that they're working with, that they're investing in, because every fund manager has got they are specializing. They don't do everything. They're not jack of trades. So you need to be able to know. If you're not sure, all that information is available when you click on the fund manager, their profile, all that information is there for you, right? Again, what are the fake news in the market, right? Example like WikiFX. WikiFX is one of the most notorious website where they post a lot of fake news. And one of the reasons why they post it because they entice brokers like TFX or others to pay money to them to promote give a good rating. And I know from, I think about 3 years ago, they approached TFXI to promote in WikiFX and they wanted to pay Prime to pay $10,000 US a month to get good reviews, and TFXI refused, right? So this is why you need to know what's the motive behind some of these fake news that comes about, right? How to address questions of a scam. We have all that information for you. Ruben, in his information session, he always talks about those 8 areas of scam that you can talk about. I'm going to show that in a minute as well, right? Know about the industry. You need to understand how does the forex market work. It's the largest industry in terms of financial service investments. They do about $6.6 trillion a day they trade, and all the banks trade in it. That's why for us it's good news, because none of the banks don't want this forex system to fail, because they're depending on their profits. The 30 to 40% of their profit comes from forex trading. So that is why, for me, that is another additional security for us, that the banks will not let forex market collapse. So that's good news for us, right? So you must be seen and accepted as an expert. So again, as I said earlier, repetition leads to mastery. Whatever you don't know, master it and become an expert in those things. Because people, once they know you're a master in this, they will follow you, they will listen to you, they will always follow whatever you're recommending to them, because they can trust you. Now, how to identify scam? These are some of the things that the TFXI has shown us to watch out for. If there are anybody giving a guaranteed profits, that is a possible scam. TFXI never guarantees profits, because it's subject to the performance of the fund manager in that 5-week cycle. Invest deposit locked in for period. So again, we don't lock in, we can draw the money anytime you want. Unfavorable exchange rates imposed on, and they impose fees. So some of the investment fund companies that we know, they will say, okay, you will only, if you give so much, we give you so much back in conversion, because they control the exchange rate, they make money for themselves. And they'll charge you some other additional administration fee as well, subscription or whatever, right? And if they give you zero risk capital guarantee, again, that is a scam. No investment in this on this earth can guarantee you your capital, right? Illogical promotions, for example, they give you free credits, they entice you with some incentives and all that. So you must be careful, because the more intensive incentive they give you, the riskier that investment is, because they are desperate to get your money. So these are some of the things that you can identify as scam. You need to know this to be able to explain to your client, to give them a peace of mind. Okay. So number 3, master your TFXI navigation. Gives clients confidence in you. When you show them, you open switch login, you go through all the menus and show them all this for every part of the platform. It gives them confidence, and show them how easy it is to navigate, right? Helps your client to navigate, especially new ones. When they sign on, it's precious money for them. They're nervous when they invest, right? Today I hired a client who opened an account with I think about middle of last week, and his account got approved within 24 hours. The problem is, one of the account had a wrong email, right? The email was typed in wrongly, so he could not log in, because he didn't even know the account was set up, because he didn't get any email notification, right? So, but his upline, the person who introduced him, they contacted me. They say, hey, Matthew, this person, 2 of the accounts are perfect, and account emails are coming through, but this one account, they have a problem. Okay, so I was able to, within 2 days, I was able to solve that issue for them. And now that person has attached money, right? So that's the kind of level of confidence we should have. That's the kind of support we give them, and then they feel very comfortable, right? So there should be nothing that we are not aware of, how to navigate, how to solve the customer's problems. And when you help them and they're comfortable, they will then introduce their friends. And I'm sure most of you are sitting here, somebody who had already invested before you have introduced you into this platform, right? Ability to give drawdown, win-loss ratios, etc. So give them. I mean, if your customer asks you some statistics on what is a win-loss ratio, how do I know what is the net profit each cycle? Where do I get the reports for the profits? All these things are already there in the platform, and each fund manager gives you every 5 weeks, every cycle. So the information is there. You can always share with your clients. Right. Number 4, be a competent presenter. Okay. Now understand your prospects. Always do some homework before you speak to them, because there's some might be high profile customers who understand Forex and other investments. They're very savvy. And if you go and talk to them and they ask you a question that you cannot answer, then you're going to look bad on their side. On the other hand, there could be someone who's coming in first time to invest. How do you encourage them? How do you give them confidence? How do you talk to them in such a way that they will learn to, take a step, jump in, and okay, I'm going to start with something small. So you need to understand. Again, one other thing is, don't ever entice your prospects to borrow money to invest. Never, ever, ever do that, because that is one of the worst mistakes you can make. Because if they lose the money for whatever reason, not that we ever lost any money, then they're not only owing money to someone, they've also lost whatever they say. So be very careful, understand your prospect, talk to them upfront. What is your motive? What do they want to get out of this investment? Currently next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. So you can understand, you have something that you're prepared. You can prepare some spreadsheet. Okay, hey, look, like what Ruben showed in the forest, like, for example, you can prepare a spreadsheet. Okay, if you put investment $1,000 a year over 5 years, this is the kind of return you're going to get by reinvesting. If you put $5,000 a year, this is the kind of, so if you put 3 or 4 scenarios to them, and they see how the compounding works, they will be more confident, they will be more excited about it. Don't just talk to them, show them some tools or some work spreadsheets that they will see, and they will, that gives them confidence. Okay, prepare well. As I said, when you go, always be prepared for it. When you're not sure of the question they're going to answer, always come back to ask someone else and come and go back to them later. Keep it simple. Don't sort of throw technical terms into these areas. Keep it simple, because the simpler the message, the better your clients will understand it. Use your story to add credibility. I always use my story, my testimony. Nobody can disagree with it. So your testimony carries a lot of weight. So always use your story as a way of introducing this product and services. And always be careful to qualify that you're not a financial planner. You're not a qualified financial. You're only coming in as an individual based on your personal experience. You're sharing your story with them. That is don't ever get caught, tell lies to say give them the impression that you're a financial planner, then you get into trouble. Okay, don't oversell. Starting with a comfortable amount, give confidence, try and see. Again, don't oversell. People sometimes, they might not have the money you might force them. I always say about 20% of what you have is invest here, no more than that. So let them get some confidence, get comfortable. And when you tell them only 1/5 of what they have, they feel more comfortable that you're not pushing them to invest all their money, only a portion of their money, so that they feel comfortable with it as well. Okay. Never, ever, ever force or apply pressure on closing this when you invite customers. Never. Because the moment you put pressure, they feel uncomfortable. They think, what's your motive? What is it that you're getting out of this? So never do that. Always, as I said, sell them value. Don't run after money. Let money run after you. Number 5, finally, as I said, it's about having the right mindset. Build a business professionally. You got to treat yourself as a business person. Put a businessman mindset in. If you're running a business, how will you promote your product and services to the customer? So have the right mindset. Always be professional. Sell value. Don't sell any lies or false information. Set your expectations right. When you go and see the customer, don't think that person, you might think they may have a lot of money, but they may not. Surprisingly, many people, even though outwardly they look wealthy, but internally, when you start probing, talking to them, you'll be surprised that they don't have much to invest. So set your expectations right. start with something simple with them to give them confidence to come into this investment, right? Define the risk very, very clearly. Always must say every investment has risk, and Forex is known as a high risk, but in this category, we have is a low risk in a high risk investment. And if they ask you why, then you can give them some experiences. Okay, this company is, this platform has been operating since 2009. They've, they trade every 5 weeks. They've never lost in any one of those 5 weeks. They've always been making profits. So talk to them.
Training now live.
Oh, please be unmute yourself. Please mute yourself. Thank you. So define the risk. Be very, very careful about that. You rather tell them more than less, so that they know next time something happens, they cannot blame you because they've come in with their eyes open into this investment. Prepare investors for a long haul. Show them how to be, optimize. I'm going to show you the slide about the optimization laws. When you prepare, educate them about financial savviness, that you are financially savvy, you know what you're doing, and you're going to give them advice how to save money and invest more, how to prepare for investment mindset that encourages them. They feel comfortable. So always prepare investors for the long haul. And typically any investment that is going to build them as a good nest egg is about 7 years. So you can say, okay, if you feel uncomfortable in 1 year, let's say you double your profits, you can take out your capital and let your profits be there, let your profit multiply so that your risk is zero. So, but always encourage them for long haul. That's why if you have the spreadsheets to show them, okay, this is how, if you start with this money, this amount, in 10 years, this is how you're likely to, that investment will grow to. So they have a visual idea, visual picture of what that is, and they can then plan for themselves. Okay, I think if I need maybe $200,000 or $300,000 in 10 years time, then they have a good idea. So they know how to start with what is the initial investment they need to do. So they'll be able to work backwards. So as I said, always go prepared. Okay, build trust. Always build trust. For me, trust is very important, because once the trust is lost, you're not going to get these people, that person. Not only you're not going to get that person back, but they're going to badmouth you or anybody, even the platform, to somebody else. So build trust and be integrity in everything that we do. And you can see in our platform, in our group, our Telegram group, we're very, very particular about this. We're always building trust. Integrity, we only tell what we know, what is the truth. We don't exaggerate anything. If we don't know, we always come back and say we'll find out. Recently, based on the last information session, I think somebody asked, about what is, okay, we know that TFXI gets, they do due diligence, a third party does due diligence on the company. What's the name of the company? So, I straight away, I spoke to the CEO of Asia Pacific. He said, look, Mathew, we cannot reveal the name of our auditors or the people who do the due diligence, but all I can say is that this diligence is for them. It is required that this audit is done every 3 months. So TFXI is being audited every 3 months. It's not once a year, every 3 months, because it's of the regulation that is under which they come under compliance. So they're being regulated every 3 months. That again gives us a lot of confidence, right? So these are some of the things that build trust with our clients. And also use your story, as I said earlier, practicing what you are teaching, right? Whatever you must practice what you're telling them. You must be, whatever you tell them is what you are doing yourself. So don't give them a different story from what you are doing. Again, so then there is no inconsistency. When they ask you questions, you must be very straightforward, honest with that as well. So those are the 5 things. So the areas that you can tell them of how to be savvy with the investments, to grow more investment. You can talk to them how you need to optimize your spending, have a budget so that you know how much you're spending, so where you can save to invest. Talk to them about inflation. Like now, for example, inflation is about 5.5% in Australia. In US today, the inflation rate came out as 9.1%. It's huge, right? So if you have investment that's really producing anything less than 9% in US, your money is going backwards. You're not making money. You're losing the value of your capital. So you need to tell them the investment you make must always be higher than the inflation and any fees that you're paying, right? Teach them about optimization of return on investment. We talk about compounding. How does that work? Optimization, how can they save more to invest more? And how can they, within the time frame they have, how can they optimize? Let's say they say, okay, I want to make $300,000 in the next 10 years. So we can give them a plan. Okay, this is how much you start with, and then you start reinvesting. So you're giving them a path forward. And that is encouraging for them, because that shows you that you are an expert, that you know what you're saying, and you're doing what you're telling them as well, and gives them confidence. Okay. So to summarize, what I've said, TFXI, as I said, Triumph is a done-for package for passive income business, one of the best in the market, right? We talked about TFX as a broker, the fund managers, the experience and current investors, total amount of fund size, and the profit paid today. Again, is a huge credibility story that you can share. We talked about the income potential, approximately 35,000 on a commission alone, on $1 million and growing up to 105. That's purely on your commission, excluding the referral income plus your own personal profits. Okay. And we covered the 5 areas of responsibilities as a QIB, how commit to learn and grow, know how to handle objections, master TFXI and MT4. You don't need MT4 platform now. It's not critical. Be a competent presenter and build a business professionally with integrity. So these are some of the things that we talk about. Again, if you're not sure, listen to the recording later on so that you can just go over it and understand what we're talking about here, right? Finally, I've got some work for you guys to do for until next week. I want to ask you to write this, take a picture of this and write something for yourself. What do I really want? What is your vision for building this business? What is your vision? Where do you see in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years? What do you really want? How much do you want? What is important about it? What is the value that you see in this? How will I get it? The method, how are you going to do it? We're giving you some examples of one example of how you can do it. What is it? How are you going to, am I going to make calls? Am I going to spend an hour a day? Am I going to see them in person? Right? The approach, the methods. What is preventing me from having it? So what are the obstacles you currently feel? Most of them are perceptions, they're not reality. So that when you write it down, you know how to overcome them. How will I know that I am successful? This is where the goal setting is important. So that you can do small goal settings, monthly goal setting, quarterly goal setting, whatever you want to be comfortable with. Why I'm putting these 5-way assigned values, 5 questions. Let me give you an example. There was a guy who was working for a software company in the US. He was vice president at the age of 26. He was already a vice president in that large software company, and he was earning more than $1 million in income alone. He was driving a Ferrari, very comfortable, but he was not satisfied. He said he wanted to start his own business. He had an idea what he wants to do. So this is a proven formula. So he went to one of the top mentors in the world for advice. That Tony Robbins, if you don't know him, Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins gave him these 5 questions. Okay, write down, what do I really want? Build up your vision. Why is it so important? What's the value I see in this? How am I going to do it? Right? What are the obstacles I'm facing, and how do I measure this? I'm successful. And you know what? Today he's got a business that is $5 billion a year, generating $5 billion a year. And that's because he used these principles to build his business. And one of the good things is his company is so philanthropic. That means he allows his employees, he's got about 5,000 employees, allows 1 day a week, he allows them to go out and do some community projects. So the company is doing a lot to help the community, help others, so that you can see the value that he brings into the business as well. it sort of helps, not only gives encouragement to the employees, it gives a value for the employees. The value, employees feel good that they're contributing something to the community while they're earning salaries and income, while the company is prospering. So very important. Look at these 5, work on this, and work next week when we come. Maybe we can spend 5 minutes on this. If anybody has prepared that, you want to share your vision, we can help you. Take a picture of this, and then let's talk about it. So with that, I'm going to stop my presentation, and then we're going to go into a moment of